Olá, bom dia. Que bom ter você aqui comigo novamente no quadro Mundo em Foco, no programa Por Brasília. E hoje eu vou falar com o embaixador da Índia no Brasil, embaixador Suresh, Reddy, que está no cargo desde setembro de 2020 e vai falar muitas coisas sobre as relações bilaterais, sobre vários aspectos interessantes que vocês vão ter o prazer de conhecer sobre este maravilhoso país que é a Índia. Ambassador Suresh, Reddy, you are very welcome to our program. I'm very grateful to have you here with me today at our quadro Mundo em Foco no programa Por Brasília, na TV Brasília. I would like you to talk to us a little bit about Brazil and India relations.
Thank you. Thank you, Fabiana, for inviting me to your program. I think I'm fortunate to be the Indian ambassador in Brazil because this is a relationship which is very special for India. And after I have come to Brazil, I understand how special it is for Brazil also. And before I talk of the relations, I would like to first thank the people of Brazil for having welcomed me so warmly to this beautiful country. Our embassy was established in 1948 in Rio. And obviously, this is a very old relationship between India and Brazil. Though the embassy was established in 48, our relations are even more historical, right? Thanks to the Portuguese, we really share a common history. In fact, even today, there are a lot of people in India who speak Portuguese. And we have also become a member of the community of Portuguese-speaking countries, and for which we would like to thank Brazil also for the support to this process. But after we have had a very good relationship. We have had a very healthy trade relationship. But today we are entering a new era in the relationship. I would say last year we had our Prime Minister come here for the BRICS summit. And on this, I would again like to compliment the people of Brazil and the government of Brazil on the successful chairmanship of the BRICS during 2019. And this year in January, we had President Bolsonaro come to India as our guest of honor for the National Day celebrations. For us, it was a privilege to receive him. It was a privilege because he also represented the 200 million Brazilians in India in the National Day celebrations. And it also was a very, very important visit because we signed about 15 agreements during that visit. And I am told that perhaps it is the largest number of agreements signed by Brazil with any country during a presidential visit. And so for us, it was again a reflection of the strong bilateral relations which India and Brazil we share. That is on the bilateral front. But also on the multilateral front, we are very active partners. We are partners in G20. I already said about the BRICS, and we are also in IPSA. And we are also leading the discussions about reform of multilateral institutions, such as the United Nations, in which we actively collaborate and cooperate.
By the way, as you're talking that, can you highlight some points that you think that Brazil and India can cooperate?
I would say, in fact, in all the three areas, we are actively looking at having a strong collaboration. One is on the political front. As I mentioned, today, the international institutions do not reflect the contemporary realities of the world. These institutions were established after the Second World War. But over the past 70 years, so much of change has happened. We just celebrated the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. And this is a time when we need to look at reforming the international institutions so that they reflect today's reality. And that is where India and Brazil are actively collaborating. And this includes the United Nations, this includes the IMF, this includes the World Bank, this includes all the multilateral institutions actually. Then there are also other important areas such as terrorism. I would like to again pay condolences to the family of the Brazilian lady who lost her life in France due to the terrorist attack. And that only reflects the importance of combating terrorism jointly. It shows that it has no borders and there is a need for us countries to cooperate and collaborate on this. And also, when you talk of sustainable development goals, the sustainable development goals cannot be realized by the world unless countries like India and Brazil realize it. We, with 1.4 billion people, and Brazil with another 220 million people, we need to actively find solutions, because these are homegrown solutions for shared challenges on which we are again looking to collaborate and cooperate and exchange our knowledge, expertise, and experiences in finding the solutions. Today, India is also leading the digital revolution. India is witnessing a rapid digital transformation, and this digital transformation is enabling not just better governance, but it is providing opportunities for all the people of the country. Whether you are living in a village or living in a city or living in a small town, everybody has equal opportunities today thanks to the digital revolution. That is another area where I feel we can collaborate with Brazil. But one important area, again, which I would like to compliment the government of Brazil is the success on the renewable energy program. And today, as you know, India is also leader in the solar, in the wind, and of course, hydro. Brazil is very far advanced. But one area which I would like to specially compliment is on the ethanol. That is one in which we are again looking to work closely with Brazil and benefit from its experience and expertise that it has developed. The agreements that were signed were very rich. They covered cooperation in healthcare, in cybersecurity, in agriculture, you name it. It covers almost all areas. But importantly, in the field of healthcare, I believe that there's a lot of scope for us to cooperate, and the pandemic has really made us realize the importance of this cooperation. During this pandemic, I'd like to inform that India, as a responsible member of the global community, we made medicines available to more than 150 countries. And India, as you know, is known as a global pharmacy because the largest number of factories approved by the US FDA is in India. The largest number of API manufacturing plants are in India. And we produce about 70% of the global vaccine. And so today, when you're talking of the pandemic, you're talking of the medicines, you're talking of vaccines, it is India which has to make everything available. And that is what we are doing in a very responsible manner.
Vamos assistir agora vídeo sobre a visita do presidente Jair Bolsonaro à Índia.
É motivo de orgulho muito grande estar presente na Índia, convidado de honra pela sua maior data, a data da República desse país.
श्रृंगार के चाली पानी ने पणिया कोरड़ी कर सोड़ा श्रृंगार के चाली पानी ने पणिया चाली पानी ने पणिया चाली पानी ने पणिया दसों दिशाओं में गूंजी है वीरारो गुणगान जयपुर में आमेर भवानी जो दानो मंडोर थारी गणना में खोला में बाता घेर घूमे आबू छतर है तोशी मारो रक्षक जैसलमेर थारी गणना में खोला में बाता घेर घूमे ओ थारी काई काई करा में बखान रे मारो रंग रंगीलो राजस्थान मारो रंग रंगीलो राजस्थान मारो रंग रंगीलो राजस्थान।
Durante a visita do presidente Jair Bolsonaro à Índia, o ministro das Relações Exteriores do Brasil, Ernesto Araújo, esteve presente. E lá da Índia, ele gravou um vídeo que vou mostrar agora para vocês.
Nós estamos chegando a um novo patamar realmente na relação entre o Brasil e a Índia. Uma relação que estava, acho que, subaproveitada, e são países que estão se descobrindo. Nós formamos um plano de ação para concretizar o potencial enorme dessa relação. Assinamos um número recorde de acordos, 15 acordos com a Índia. Vamos agora ter todo o processo de implementação desse acordo, de vários entendimentos, gerar outros acordos. Temos um plano ambicioso de praticamente decuplicar o comércio entre os países, aumentar investimentos, aumentar a cooperação em tecnologia. Tudo isso por duas razões. Primeiro, pela importância recíproca dos dois países, algo que nós sabíamos, mas que quando a gente chega aqui a gente vê muito claramente a importância que a Índia atribui ao Brasil e a importância que o Brasil pode ter para a Índia. Isso é uma coisa. E a segunda coisa, a convergência de visões entre o presidente Bolsonaro e o primeiro-ministro Modi e, portanto, entre os dois governos. A visão de que em ambos os países nós estamos num processo de reconstrução, de transformação nacional a partir dos nossos valores, a partir da nossa identidade, e de que é sobre essa base sólida que nós temos que edificar economias mais produtivas, inclusive em cooperação um com o outro. Então, tudo isso gera um momento de muito entusiasmo, um momento de um prestígio enorme que a Índia está atribuindo ao Brasil, que nós estamos atribuindo à Índia. Foi muito simbólico que o presidente Bolsonaro fosse o chefe de Estado convidado para a celebração do Dia da Independência da Índia, uma celebração magnífica, aliás, que nós assistimos hoje. Isso não é algo banal, não é algo que acontece todos os dias. É um sinal muito claro de que são duas grandes nações que estão dando as mãos para chegar a um patamar muito mais alto no mundo.
Nesta visita do presidente Jair Bolsonaro à Índia, uma grande delegação o acompanhou. Entre eles estava o deputado federal Eduardo Bolsonaro, que também é presidente da Comissão de Relações Exteriores de Defesa da Câmara Federal, e vamos ouvi-lo o que ele tem a dizer agora.
Hi everybody, here's Eduardo Bolsonaro, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs National Defense of Brazil, also a representative working in the House. And my experience in January of this year, it was very nice in India. I was together with my father, President Jair Bolsonaro. We received a very warm welcome from the President, Convid, and also the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. And we really felt at home. It was a really nice place. And we saw historical buildings. We went also to the Taj Mahal. And it was the only one trip that my father bring together my sister, his daughter, Laura. She was 9 years old and she was dreaming with princess and prince, you know, all of that story. And it was a very nice trip. For sure, more than that, we are working together nowadays with the ambassador Naresh here in Brazil, also with the Institute Única, with Mr. Evandro Gussi, to put efforts ahead to be together when you talk about biofuel. We have here in Brazil, we say ethanol, and we really think that's a good idea to preserve the environment and to bring better technology to the cars and to all of the trucks in India. So I think it would be a very nice thing to do, and many others. Like we have so much things in common, like big population, very good people. Like we like to work together, and many other things that for sure we are going to be for a long time together, Brazil and India. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you.
Ambassador, in your opinion, what are the common values that India and Brazil shares?
Oh, thank you. That's a very interesting question you have asked. What I've seen in the 3 months that I've been here, I mean, I came in September, and since then I've traveled. I started with Salvador. I went to Sao Paulo, went to Rio, of course, Porto Alegre. And it was really remarkable when I see the shared affinity between the people, a lot of commonality in the culture, a lot of common values which the people share. Like, for example, the family. I think India and Brazil, we really share a lot of common values when it comes to the family. The respect for the elders, the idea that we are one big family where we all get together in our functions and celebrate it jointly. At the social level, I think there's really quite a lot. And I'm also very happy to see the popularity of yoga and Ayurveda here, naturally. At a spiritual level, that is something really nice. At the political level, I would say the most important element is democracy, that we are two large democracies of the world. We are countries which respect, cherish, and value the freedom of expression which our people enjoy. I mean, like, I've been here in Brazil, as I said, for about 3.5 months, but I've been very impressed with the media. The way they have been talking freely without any restrictions by the government, without any restrictions by any, it's truly a free media, And it's been a pleasure for me listening to them in the TV or reading about the articles, what they comment about. That's a very, very important element which really which we share, the freedom of expression. The elections, I was happy to watch the elections for the mayors taking place. I learned quite a bit about the Brazilian society during that process also, and also about the political process. I find again a lot of commonality between India and Brazil. And one important element which I also find, is that we are two responsible members of the global community. Earlier I mentioned about how we are working together to reform the international institutions. Like, for example, as I said, as two responsible members of the global community, we have been speaking up on issues which we need to speak up. We have been pointing out to the areas where improvements need to be made in the international system. For example, reform of the WTO. We have been jointly asking for reform of the WTO. And similarly in WHO, the World Health Organization. This pandemic has shown the weaknesses in the institution. And so we have been jointly asking for those weaknesses to be addressed. As we mentioned, the United Nations, it does not reflect today's world. And we are expecting reforms to take place in the United Nations. And we have urged all countries to join and undertake the necessary reforms in the United Nations also.
Então, como vocês podem ver, a Índia tem excelentes relações com o Brasil, relações entre pessoas e uma relação também muito forte com o Congresso Nacional, onde há dois grupos de amizade parlamentar, uma presidida pelo deputado federal Vinícius de Carvalho e outra pelo deputado Daniel Coelho. E eu agradeço mais uma vez o embaixador Suresh Reddy por estar aqui comigo no programa hoje, passando todas essas informações para vocês, que são informações culturais, políticas e que o brasileiro tenho certeza, terá o prazer de saber e conhecer mais sobre esse país espetacular que é a Índia.
Olá, eu sou o deputado federal Vinícius Carvalho, presidente do Grupo de Amizade Brasil-Índia. É com grande satisfação que estamos aqui, porque nós queremos cada vez mais fortalecer a nossa relação com a Índia, porque entendemos que é um país de grande potencial e um parceiro de muito potencial para o povo brasileiro. Como representante do parlamento, especialmente representando este grupo de amizade Brasil e Índia, nós estamos aqui na embaixada para podermos mais uma vez nos aproximarmos do embaixador e nos colocarmos à disposição para podermos auxiliar, junto do Legislativo Federal, tudo que o Executivo, juntamente nessas relações bilaterais, possam avançar de acordo com os interesses dos dois países. Estou à disposição, assim como todos os membros do Grupo de Amizade Brasil e Índia.
The bilateral relations between India and Brazil are really important for both countries. We can trade technology, experience, and the way that we are facing our challenges and our problems. Also, it's really important that we get together the private sector in both countries to see the opportunities that we have for investments and also for international trade. Brazil and India have to improve and get together with their relation to solve the problems that we both face in this difficult time. Congratulations to the Indian Embassy in Brazil for the relation that has been built with the Brazilian Parliament. We hope that we can get together soon also with the representatives of the Indian Parliament to get together with the parliamentary front here in Brazil.
Estamos aqui agora terminando o nosso programa, mas eu quero contar para vocês que nós estaremos aqui na próxima semana com mais um programa espetacular sobre a Índia, onde eu vou passar para vocês várias informações sobre yoga, gastronomia, cultura, ayurveda e economia. Aguardo vocês então no próximo sábado. Muito obrigada. Namastê.